Welcome everyone. So we're going to continue with our marathon. I found a very interesting article that we might go a little bit on length with. It's a 16 tikkun, and let's start reading the Aramaic. בראשית דע חלה, דרכתי בראשית הריסותיכם, חלה תרימו תרומה, והקימה דאדם חלתו של עולם הבא. ומנה לה דחלה יהיו ראשית, דקרא הוכח חדה, הוא דכתיב ראשית הריסותיכם, חלה תרימו תרומה. So it's definitely talking about the challah bread, which been used in the Holy Temple as a contribution, as a donation, as a way to elevate sparks of light. Bereshit is challah, as it's written, of the first yield of your dough. You shall set aside a cake for a gift. He asked, they have established that Adam, after his sin, was the challah of the world, as it's written that, but who was exact gift overthrow it, which refers to Adam, who was the final sanctification of the world. How do we know that Challah is first? The Torah proves it, as it's written, of the first yield of your dough, you shall set aside a cake as a gift. When we're making the dough, especially the dough that we're making for Shabbat, we set aside the special bread that we blessed over in the temple. Every tribe used to bring his own challah, his own bread, signify his quality and its signs of the zodiac. And the one that blessed over it, he was the one to actually take control of nature, take control over the signs of the zodiac. So in the next verse, we're going to get more explanation how it's related to Adam Rishon, to the first human. מהי חלה? אלא שבעה מינים ינו חיטה, בשורה בגפן תאנה ורימון, ארץ זית שמן ודבש, דהו דבש תמרים, חיטה אלנה ודאכיל מיני אדם קדמה, ויהיו להפיק מאיתמן חלה, ובגין דא לא חל, בית A בשריה, בית ח' ט', בגרים למותה, וחלה ושכינתה כלילה משביעים מיני אלין וחב אדם קדמה. He answered, the seven species of the land of Israel is praised for which his malchut are wheat and barley and vines and fig trees and pomegranate and land of olive trees and honey. Honey being date honey that comes from the tree that grows from the ground. Wheat is the tree that primordial men are from. So it says that the sin of Adam and Eve, of the tree that they weren't supposed to eat from, was the spice of the wheat, meaning that the wheat itself, it was the one that men shouldn't touch like that. And let's see why. Since an infant does not know to call father or mother until he tastes grain, and this is called the tree of knowledge of good and evil. But he did not separate challah, the priest's share of the dough, from it. Therefore, the A, which is the malchut, did not rest on him. And the letters chet and tet settle on him, which denote the grasp of. If the wheat was the one to create the sin of Adam and Eve, and it's related to the dough that's supposed to make the challah, and we know that the word chita, which is wheat, it's actually also related to the word sin. And since he didn't really separate and give, he was thinking about himself when he bite from the tree of knowledge, good and bad, that's represented by the wheat. Because of that, he fell from his elevation and disconnected from the tree of life. But he did not separate challah, the priest's share of the dough, meaning that we're supposed to do it for the sake of sharing from it. Therefore, the A, which is malchut, did not rest on him. The A of the word challah did not rest on him. And chet and tet settled on him. Chet and tet, which related to sin. Chet, which is the grasp of the external forces, and brought death on him. Challah is the Shekhinah that is composed of 7 species, and against her primordial man's sin. טיפה דיוד יישא צריך להבקע מן החלה, ומיד חלה היא טיפה, והיב לזרע כליל, מתערבהו דיובה, ורזה דמילה A, לכן זרע. This drop is yud, namely chokhmah, which is the challah that needs to be separated from the dough. and then immediately the A settles Chal A, which spell on Chala. This A is Binah that shines with Chasadim on this drop that is Chokhmah, and he is given seed composed of both Chokhmah and Chasadim, which is Vav. The secret of it is Lo ear seed for you, which is in Hebrew Elachem Zara. And A is spelled A Aleph, which is equals 6, and the word for grain literally means seeds. ובגין דה חלה ודאי יהיו פיקודה, דתאמן תרה בגינם מת אדם, דיהו חלתו של עולם, צריכה יהיו לאפשר חלה, ולאבקה לה מייסתה, דיהו טיפה דילה, להחזירה על אדם. Therefore, certainly chala is precept of which the woman is commanded, and since due to her Adam died, who was the sanctification of the world, she needs to set aside a part of the challah. So by the woman that set it aside and cut a piece of the challah and set it aside and burn it down later on, it's to correct the sin of Adam and Eve, that we know that he was indulged by his wife to go about and taste for the tree of knowledge, good and bad. And to remove it from her door, which is her drop that ends to the upper tree of the tree. Upper tree sphirot of the tree relates to the very seed of that dough. And return it to Adam, meaning to return the light to Chala in the secrets of Chal A, that's settling the A. יהיו הטפת שרגה דילה את אמר בנר השם נשמת אדם צריכה לקודר בליל שבת בהתערו של אובין דאשה דרך חימו לגבי בעלה ורזד דמרה מים רבים לא יכולו לקבות תאווה והתערו דחנותה דליל שבת מתי צריכה ברחימו תחילו בדה היו אישה כי תזריע וילדה זכר. Here we are moving into the understanding of what the seed and how the seed eventually that meets the vessel can bring life to the world. And we know that unfortunately, because Adam didn't follow what he was supposed to do and to do everything with restriction and waited for the right timing also to sleep with his wife before that he did it before Shabbat. So he didn't have any protection from the chet and tav. It means that he didn't have protection of the energy of Shabbat, and therefore he fell. She extinguished his candle, of which he said, the spirit of man is the lamp of the Lord. So she needs to light it on the eve of Shabbat. This is the reason also the woman is supposed to light the candles of Shabbat, since on Shabbat the mukhin of Chaya shine by the arousal of the flames of the fire of love from her husband. The secret of the matter is many waters cannot quench love, since when the light of Chokhmah of the left column of Ima illuminates to the Nukva, it is as burning flame, since it is without Chasadim. And when the right column comes with its Chasadim, which are called water, to extinguish the fire, it does not extinguish the illumination of the Chokhmah. On the contrary, it adds and completes its illumination, since it clothes Chokhmah with Chasadim and shines with all its completion. And the arousal of the warmth from his wife on the eve of Shabbat must be with love and awe. This is if a woman be delivered and bear a male child. So the correction between Adam and Eve is taking place on the night of Shabbat. This is the reason it says that the arousal of love will start by lighting the candles again, and then they can mate on the night of Shabbat, which can actually also help to correct the sin of Adam and Eve. Very, very powerful on connecting to really the reason why we're doing things. על שפיכת דמים דאדם, מזרקת דמה ועדה צריכה נתרה לה מדם נידה ובגין דאלתלת, מילין נידין נשים זהירות בנידה וחלב והדלקת הנר. עד כאן רזד חיטה דמנה חלה חיטה דיור רזד 20 ותרין נתבן דיורייתא. For this, for bringing bloodsheds on Adam, since he was sentenced to death, to having his limb drop off, as mentioned before, her blood is thrown away, meaning the 5 bloods of impurity in the secrets of Nida. It says that because Eve tempted Adam to sin. It caused death on him, and it's shed blood. He kind of shaded his blood, and it's also related to the third thing that a woman should keep, which is um, in a masturbation. She's not supposed to be touched by men because she's carrying a lot of judgment, which is spelled Nun Dalet A being five. Therefore, she has to guard them from menstruation blood. Therefore, women need to be careful to observe three things, namely Nida, laws of menstruation, Chala, setting aside part of the door, and lighting Shabbat candles. Up to here is the meaning of wheat, chita, from which chala. So wheat is the chita, and this is how we can keep ourselves from falling into doing negative things. With chita, A, which equals, is the secrets of the 22 letters of the Torah. So here is telling us all the secrets of how the evolution of the 22 letters of the Torah, because the word chita is equal to, in the numerical number, to the 22 number, which is the letters of the Torah. Very, very powerful, very, very deep. Again, I really recommend to study it even on a deeper level and to understand that everything that we do is interconnected, and to remember that whatever went through Adam and Eve 6,000 years back, most likely we're going through the same things, because what we hear about is to correct the sin of Adam and Eve. So all the best to you. See you tomorrow.